I'm Heidi Hewitt here with Robert Green, talking about CAD management tools and tips. And you know, training, I'm a huge advocate for training.
Yes, you are.
And I know you are as well. Can you offer some tips for CAD managers to maybe improve or increase or just start training programs?
Well, one problem I really see is it seems like the first thing that gets the budget axe is the training. And it's unfortunate, but it seems to be so. So the question really becomes how can you make sure that you're allocating the time? You know, really getting the time to train people. So I've kind of developed this philosophy I like to call train small, train often. It's relatively difficult to get a 2-day block of time to pull people out of the company to go train them. Even if you're staggering it and only training a quarter of the department, the fact of the matter is they're still gone for 2 days, and that's really visible. Whereas if I break that training up into smaller chunks, maybe I can do that 5 people at a time. I can rotate them through the process within a week, and I could do that perhaps monthly. At the most base level, you can use things like lunch and learn so that there's not really a lot of lost billable time, which companies are very sensitive to now. So I'm trying to just break my training topics down onto a more granular level. Yes, I'm covering less. Yes, sometimes I wish that I could do more formal training and that I could do it over a long time span. But if that's not realistic in the company, I would far rather train small and train often than not train at all.
And there are benefits to training small as far as comprehension as well. It's a bit overwhelming sometimes to take a 2D AutoCAD or 2-day AutoCAD class and to really absorb it all in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, you read different studies about what the retention is. So a lot of times what I'll try to do is if we can break a training topic down onto, let's say, how do we plot better? And maybe I will take that time to integrate some new plotting standards. So I'm actually going to pull people into the room, train them on this process, which is now my standard. And surprise, if you train people the right way to perform a task, maybe they have a chance of doing it the right way. I create my own documentation, which is not that much writing and a lot of screen captures. And that way we've got a 1 or maybe 2 hour, very granular, modular little chunk of training. Maybe I do that monthly and kind of fly in under the radar and not really raise upper management's idea that I'm spending too much time on training people. It's less than ideal in some circumstances, but far better than nothing.
Yeah, and I like the way that if you've got this, if you're doing the training, the little bit of training, and then you implement it right away with your standards, because they then, again, retain what they've learned.
Correct.
And see the benefit of it right away, because they're already working more efficiently.
And if a senior management or project management or whomever is complaining about the time spent on the training, even if you're doing it in smaller modular pieces, what you can do is you can tie those training topics into things that are creating errors. So you can say, we've observed that we have plotting problems. The solution is we're going to implement this standard, and training is our ultimate way of implementing it. So we should see rework rates drop down the road, and if you do that over time, you're basically proving the value of your training program. So it all kind of wraps up together at the end. And companies I see that do that, they tend to continue training, which is that's really the goal, isn't it? Is a constant training culture. So best we can do in the current circumstances, I think.
Yeah, that's great advice. Thanks.